Yeah, I guess since you mentioned the R2-D2, I'll talk about it first. Ava? Okay. And Charles? Okay. Both of you come up here. I'm giving this away for free, and I posted this on the news group, so if you're not listening to the news group, do so, because you get lots of cool free stuff. They're both members, and my first question is, Dan, did these two both sign up for next year?
No, they haven't, Chris.
Whoever wins the coin toss to get the R2, you have to be a member next year too. That was the deal. I want to help support the club. Do you guys want to toss a coin? Or do you want a Rochambeau? Basically, the first come, first serve, and to the minute, they both responded almost immediately. So,
Yeah, to know how much of a fan I am, all you have to do is look at my Star Wars purse.
It has working motors, it has a working battery, it has a motor controller, but it doesn't quite cut it. It does get hot really quickly. I did have it moving around, but I pulled the Arduino out. But basically, it's a Motbot on steroids, differential drive robot, ready to go. Does anybody have a coin or? Okay, official coin.
I want you to toss it.
2019
Ooh, fancy.
silver dollar.
Wow, really sold it out. Okay, I'm gonna flip it, catch
Be
it,
prepared.
put it over. Who wants to call it? We'll let the lady call it.
We'll call
Wait a minute.
heads.
I don't know if this is heads or tails.
That's heads.
Heads.
Heads?
Okay.
Ava, you are now the proud owner of half of an R2-D2 robot.
All right. Well, let's see here.
Need a table with a ramp.
Yes. Okay.
He's heavy. So this is Marvin. It's all off-world. Rovers are named, I think, or something probably. But
You dropped your theme.
what? I know. Well, yeah, I picked this name a while back. So I've since gone on to the evil theme. Marvin was kind of evil. You know, he was like a bad guy. He was always trying to wipe out Bugs Bunny. So he's still evil. It just doesn't start with the letter B. But yeah. But
Is that Biles' cousin?
yeah, right. Yeah. Well, so anyway, a little bit of a history on this guy. Originally built this arm with Mike. We were doing the trying to do the NASA retrieval challenge thing. I've just kind of kept this arm ever since, and it just keeps moving along. So I wanted to do something along this line for a while, and I had a powered wheelchair base for a little while. I got these off-road tires for it, and then I think Alex ended up with that wheelchair. I sold it back to him, and then I just kept these tires. And I love these gnarly tractor tires. And I thought, well, what am I going to do with these gnarly tractor tires? They're so cool. I have to build some kind of a robot around them, so I have something to do with these tires. Anyway, so I wanted to build something kind of low to the ground, where the arm could reach down easily and pick stuff up, and that kind of thing. But I wanted good ground clearance, so I came up with I found these motors from Superdroid Robots. These tires and the motors are all Superdroid Robotics, and they make some good stuff. If you want something a little bigger, more robust, Superdroid Robotics is pretty good. So I like these right angle motors because, as you can kind of see, I've got a fair amount of ground clearance in the front. You know, it's like a lot of these robots, they'll have the motors driving the wheels, and the motors go straight across. So, you know, if you run over a rock, the first thing you do is you hit your motors, right? Or you knock off the encoder caps or rip off the encoders or something like that. So you get these motors going across the front. So I like this because it keeps the motors a little bit more out of harm's way and gives me a little more ground clearance. And that kind of thing. So, you know, and it's just a tricycle gear after that, or, you know, it's got a trailing wheel back here. Right now, it's kind of still a work in progress. It doesn't have any brains yet. It's just I'm just driving it from the RC controller, and one other thing, I've got the arm up on these big honking standoffs here. The idea being I will eventually put, you know, some sensors under here, like a camera and maybe a LiDAR, that kind of thing, to, you know, you see where he's going and look for objects to pick up, that kind of stuff, and they'll fit underneath the arm and can still see forward without the arm kind of, you know, trying to, you know, be in the way or whatever, just up out of the way a little bit. And that kind of thing. I got the plastic base, like an acrylic base at Tap Plastics. They were very kind to cut these things to size for me and all that. They're really great about doing that stuff. So if you want to build stuff out of Tap Plastics, it's always handy. And that kind of thing. We had some fun making these mounts here. The right angle motors, the shaft comes out at a right angle, which is great. But in order to really mount these on the bot, you've got to get these aluminum bot mounts that Superdroid sells. But these are designed for their normal motors that are straight, not the right angle motors. They don't quite fit. So I had to do a little bit of machining to kind of get these to fit on the right angle motors, but it's no big deal. It's aluminum, it's pretty soft. And the beauty of these mounts too is that there's wheel bearing and ball bearings in here to take the weight of the robot. So you're not trying to take the weight of the robot on the motor itself. And la-di-da. Anyway, that's about it. The arm does actually work, but I have to recalibrate it for being up a little higher off the ground. But if you want to see a quick, like, level 1 robotic demo, robotic arm demo, I can do that real fast. And it moves. I have to recalibrate it to pick stuff up at the right height, but you know, it's still, it's trying to pick stuff up a lot higher. It's set up for being closer to the ground. But anyway, you get the idea. And that's about it. Thanks.
Hi, so most of you know me. I'm Ralph Nork. I've been playing with these robots for a while. We just messed up where I was on the map. This is the robot in its latest incantation. Latest upgrades is I put a Jetson Nano on it to replace the old TK1. And I also put a giant 49 amp hour battery pack on it. So hopefully the battery won't die on me anymore.
Also seems to have a NITO LiDAR.
And it has a NITO LiDAR, thank you very much, Cam. Wi-Fi, a Raspberry Pi camera, which is also compatible with the Nanos. IMU, and a little LCD display. Everybody can see it there. So if we're lucky, as you can see on the screen, if it didn't disappear on us for some reason, yep. When I got here, I was able to map the room somewhat when I got in. And if I can find the robot, which is right there, he's probably more over there, hopefully. Set him up here. Just doing this live. So we'll attempt a vague tabletop or floor bot challenge. Except for he's planning a way
My
through.
robot's going to present a mobile obstacle over there.
Yeah, the map's not very clear. It's not going to get through there because the map's not good enough at that point.
The
But
same thing I did, go back behind.
yeah, pretty well, with all cables and everything down here. So this is going to end up in tears, I'm afraid. Yes, it's already crashed into somebody's laptop down here.
That's camps, right?
So Floorbot challenge is a bust until I improve the map. But anyway, that's the progress so far. You can see it's got a camera there. You can see the camera view on the side there. I do have voice command. When I have it fully mapped, I can mark waypoints on the map, and then using a phone app, I can say robot go to and name the waypoint, and it'll actually drive across back and forth to the waypoints.
What's he trying to do now?
Sorry? It's got completely confused because I picked it up and now kidnapped robot, and now it's just confused trying to get to its target that it doesn't know where it is anymore. So
What SLAM package are you using?
it's just move base and AMCL. Mapped. This was mapped just with generic G mapping. So there's a whole bunch of software upgrades. I think it's going to go all the way around the room there to get there too. It's going to crash into a chair. So everything, the software, I completely upgraded the software stack to Melodic and Ubuntu 18, 16 and Kinetic. So there's a lot of just fine tuning that I've been going through. So that's why not everything is fully working. But anyway, that's progress for so far. Thanks.
Okay, this is my map. I just mapped the front part of the room. And here's Turtle. He's navigating. I've also added, it's not in this one, but I put a Raspberry Pi on here. Found the limit. A Raspberry Pi is adequate for doing the mapping and the navigation. But when you, hang on, when you put the Pi cam on there, then it really begins to, well, I'm not going to push my luck on this. I'm going to click that up. Yeah, this is all cool stuff here, folks. This is all, 3D. Oopsie. And you can see the LiDAR scans. Oopsie. There we go. More or less. Anyways, what I've done, is driven around and created the map, and then I've got a little package I call floorbot.cpp, and you put the waypoints in there, and so he's doing waypoints now. But kind of like Ralph, when I get over in this corner and I try to, you need to place them back and forth to keep him in a particular zone, because I went across and left it there, and there'd be just like one long shot to the other end, and he tries to go backstage, so you may have seen me try to herd him around forward. Anyways.
Is that a new model of the Nito?
No, that's an old model of the Nito.
On the screen, on your.
Oh, no, that's the same URDF, Universal Robot Description Format. Bear with me. I'm trying to find something here. I've got the Raspy audio in there also. Yeah, hang on a second. Let's just use this one. Bear with me.
Hey, the robot's not allowed to wander the facility without a pass.
Unless it's badge.
Yeah, badge.
Hang on one second.
Don't block the lighter. Oh, cool. Okay,
Hey now. Is he gonna, he's probably going to try to go behind here. Let me,
Shy.
yeah.
Oh,
This one's here. So, if I get down here, I can try and hurt him in the other direction. But, oh, I know what I'll do. Hang on a second. Bear with me. Oh, it's up here. Let's do this before I get caught up in the cords also.
Does Turtle like the lighting back there?
I'm sorry, what?
Does Turtle like the lighting back there?
No, well, what it is it sees that as the shortest path to the other goal. With my waypoints, I put point nicely over here, but I left him with like a Hail Mary to the other side, and he thinks he's going to the other side. So here I'm teleop controlling the robot with the keyboard to move him up there until the path planning takes hold, and now he'll go all the way to the other side. So I guess that's Floorbot Challenge 0.5. Anyways, that's all I got. Questions?
Can you put a no-go zone on these kind of maps?
yeah, exactly.
You tried it. Thank you very much. The no-go zone is something that's in the consumer product, Nito robot, that is a vacuum cleaner. Now that uses its own proprietary code and so forth. But the deal is that the Nito robot vacuum cleaner has a micro USB, and there's a port there where you can drive the wheels, read the encoders, read the LiDAR scans, and you know the story where we've got the bot vac package, thanks to Ralph Ganock and Mike Ferguson wrote the original Nito package, so that there's a ROS package for this. And
it also reads the sensors, it reads the bump switches. I think it reads the magnetic switches in the...
Dr. Alan Fetterman, ladies and gentlemen, yes. I just did a clear local cost map there. It helps navigation. But this is a good project because right now, I swear, it's 12 pages. It's 8 pages of driver that takes the Nito commands, the data, turns it into variables, and then a 4-page ROS wrapper that puts it into all the things that are ROS, including G-mapping, the RViz ROS visualizer, the path planning, the localization, and all that good stuff. But as Alan's pointing out, the hooks are there for the drop sensors, the bump sensors. Actually, Michael Wemble here has written a package for the bump sensor. Of course, the more you know, the less you know. Now you can launch that package, and when it's navigating, it hits something, the terminal says, I heard a bump. Now you need to tell MoveBase what to do when it hears a bump. And so, but the point being, this is a great ROS tutorial, as good as the TurtleBot even, and
And if you act today, you could add a Raspberry Pi camera to your,
yeah, well, like I say, this week I
Use
put
the Raspberry camera.
I put the Raspberry Pi camera on there, and it's really beginning to push the limits on the Pi, though. I think this is where you really need a Pi 4, or perhaps the NVIDIA Python. Incidentally, I've got feedback. NVIDIA Python does fit in the dirt bin, so that's the Nito Turtle. Thank you very much.
More of a general ROS question. Has anybody else used one of the other SLAM packages in particular? Has anyone used Cartographer yet?
We're dabbling with it right now.
Who, what, where?
One of the projects I'm working on. So we've got an
Let's talk after.
LiDAR and a Nito. But we've been trying to use the Ouster now.
We'll talk to you after that.
If you
I'm still working on that.
search
All right.
search through the mailing list.
Yeah.
Emerson, he did Cartographer with the BotVac on ROS too. There's an email in there, you might follow up on that. He actually created a great map with Cartographer. Thank you very much.
Great, thanks, Camp. Any other robots to show tonight?